So I'm dealing with so I'm 50. I'm dealing with stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and when you mentioned the anticipatory grief, that really struck a chord with me, and you know what we're going through right now, and so I just wanted to let you know that really, you know, I could really feel that, and it just kind of, you know, as a piece as far as what's going on. And just part of that is, you know, I've been an active, you know, fit, healthy person, you know, for my whole life. And I've been having to say goodbye to, you know, parts of my life, you know, and that's been really, that's been a real challenge as someone who, you know, has been, you know, an active person, and, you know, in lots of ways. And so just, I don't know, not so much a question, just as more just a reality. And I guess I'm interested in hearing more about kind of techniques or, you know, ideas about around anticipatory grief.
Mm-hmm. Well, Max, thank you. And have you noticed so far in your own wanderings with grief, has anything in particular helped you? Is there anything to share?
You know, I guess just being aware of it and giving voice to it, you know, with my friends, you know, and with my wife, that, you know, as hard as it is, sometimes it's unavoidable, you know, just when it comes up, and comes up in different ways, you know, it's sadness, it's anger, you know, it's you know, it's a real touchy area, you know, it's not an area I'm used to being in. So yeah.
Thank you, Max. I really appreciate your comments. You know, I don't know how you feel about this, but in some ways, I know when I'm in grief or working with people who are, it's an extremely tender zone. And it feels like your skin is, you know, it feels like you can feel exposed in a way.
Yeah.
And I wonder what you think, Max. You know, for myself, I've come to really love and honor that tenderness, because actually, I mean, to me, that feels like such a truthful place, because life is really hard. Love is really, really tricky, as wonderful as it is. Loving life is actually hard to do. I feel always, you know, very close to a line of, you know, I've had enough, you know, and then minutes later, I'm ready to try again. And it is amazing that we're all on the same planet at the same time. And, you know, I think life is much more exquisite and much more beautiful than most of us are able to allow in one day to the next, 1 hour to the next. And so I guess I say all that to say, it feels to me like what you are in a very truthful place. And rather than you trying to kind of meet the world where it's hanging out, I sure wish the world made better space for this kind of tenderness. I just want to note it so we can honor it, but also to hold on to it. One thing I've noticed is oftentimes after loss, the grieving period, there's that tenderness that you're describing, and then the window starts to close and back to sort of real life in some ways, or whatever it is, muscle memory pulls us out of that tender place, and it feels like an opportunity is lost. So I guess the challenge of what I'm posing here, Max, would be to think about ways to love this tender place, as painful as it can be, because it's so dang truthful and it's so exquisite. And I wonder if there's a way to actually love it for all that, and to find ways to bring people into that tenderness rather than you trying to quickly scar back down again so you can, you know, tolerate daily life. I don't know if any of that sounds reasonable, but I think your first point of just being aware of it is step one, just self-awareness, so you know why you feel the way you do. And oftentimes too, especially with anger, we can accidentally hurt others with our anger that's not really meant for them. So this is where just being self-aware is so key, and also such an act of kindness. I don't know if that registers with you, pal, but those are some thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that all totally makes sense. And, you know, I know, I've done years of therapy, in the past, and I've kind of repicked it back up again just because of this. And yeah, I'm in a I'm in some ways very comfortable being in a vulnerable place, you know, and a large part of that is thanks to having done some good therapy over the years. That vulnerability isn't a taboo, in my world. So it's not always easy either. There's lots of triggers, but no, I really appreciate your response to that and your openness to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us, Max. Solidarity with you, brother. But
All
thank you.
right, thank you.
Thanks, Max.